All right, Israel has published the full list of 250 Palestinian security prisoners serving life sentences who are slated to release as part of the hostage ceasefire agreement. The list released by the Justice Ministry comes the morning after the cabinet approved the US-backed deal aimed at returning the remaining hostages and permanently ending the Gaza war. Of the 250 prisoners, 15 will be released to East Jerusalem, 100 to the West Bank, and 135 are slated for deportation. In addition to these security prisoners, another 1,700 Gazan detainees who were arrested after but not involved in the Hamas-led October 7th attack will also be freed, either returning to the Strip or exiled abroad. The prisoners are expected to be released only after a 72-hour period during which all hostages, living and dead, are to be returned. Meanwhile, it has also been said that an EU-monitored Gaza pedestrian crossing is to reopen next week. U.S. envoy Stephen Witkoff has also said that after troop withdrawal, hostages are to be released. All right, Professor Vasily Popovsky, Professor and Vice Dean at the Jindal Global Law School, is joining us from New Delhi. Sir, appreciate you joining us. First of all, how do you look at this peace program? A number of people are not as optimistic as one would like to be that this is going to last. What are your impressions of what's happening here?
Well, let's start with the good news that those people will go back home. It's good for the families to have the hostages back, and the Palestinian prisoners will also join their families, those who are not connected to Hamas. Definitely good news for all those 250, but also the 1,700 arrested during the war in Gaza. So good news for the people and families. But you are right that it's just a step which usually always happens in every ceasefire. Nothing surprising. Prisoners exchange is always part of between the worst enemies in history that it happened during the Second World War between Nazi Germany and France and Soviet Union. So there is nothing so to celebrate, apart from, as I said, the families that will rejoin with their loved ones. But yes, many questions remain as to the future of the entire Middle East problem. And this needs still to be negotiated. What will happen, for example, with the two-state solutions? We don't see any positive signal from Israel to accept the existence of a Palestinian state, something that more than 100 countries in the world already recognize Palestine as an independent state. What will happen in Gaza itself? There are declarations of attempts to contribute, monitors, even reconstruction efforts, food delivery first and foremost. Obviously, a humanitarian disaster there needs to be addressed with immediate supplies of food and other humanitarian assistance. Also good news to see that the European Union monitored Gaza entry will be also reopened. All of those are good news, but the big question, Vinit, remains what will happen long term as to the two-state solution, something the majority of the world population and states support, but not a major player like Israel and the United States. So still a lot of question marks. Again, another question will be what will happen with the Palestinian Authority and Gaza. Who will be long-term the ruling force in Gaza? Obviously, Hamas would not be acceptable here, whether the Palestinian Authority will be, and I don't see anybody else. Palestinian Authority long-term, again, short-term, we might have some peacekeepers from Arab countries. Turkey has suggested some troops on the ground. All these are very good and welcome news.
All right.
But long-term, how viable will be the Palestinian states is a question.
All right. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much. Moving on, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that all hostages held by Hamas